Have you ever thought that something as natural and pure as honey could quietly harm your liver and gut? For thousands of years, honey has been treasured for its sweetness and healing power. Yet when paired with the wrong foods or drinks, it can slowly become a hidden threat to your health. And the danger isn't always immediate. Sometimes it builds silently, over weeks, months, or even years, until your body starts sending signals you can't ignore. Honey is loaded with antioxidants and has been used in traditional remedies for centuries. But what many people don't realize is that when honey is combined with certain foods, liquids, or daily habits, its benefits can be reversed. Not in one sip, not with a single spoonful, but through repeated, quiet exposure. Over time, your liver, your digestion, and even your energy levels can begin to suffer. In this video, we'll explore 6 specific things you should never mix with honey, especially after the age of 60. These combinations might look harmless, even healthy at first glance. But together, they can trigger inflammation, put extra strain on your liver, and disrupt the natural balance of your gut. Stay with me until the end, because you'll learn not only how to identify these risky combinations before they become part of your routine, but also how a few small, simple changes can make your body stronger, more resilient, and far less stressed. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video that helps you protect your health, one smart choice at a time. Let's begin. Number 1. Boiling water or hot liquids. One of the most common mistakes people make with honey feels comforting and harmless, stirring it into a steaming cup of tea or adding it to piping hot water. But here's what most don't realize. When honey is exposed to very high temperatures, especially anything close to boiling, it starts to break down. During this breakdown, a compound called hydroxymethylfurfuryl, or HMF, is formed. In very small amounts, your body can handle it without trouble. But when hot honey becomes a daily habit, HMF can quietly build up, creating an extra burden for your liver to process and making digestion less efficient over time. When hot honey becomes part of your daily routine, that HMF doesn't just disappear. Over time, it can quietly accumulate, placing an unnecessary burden on both your liver and your digestive system. But that's not the only concern. The heating process also destroys the natural enzymes found in raw honey, enzymes that play a key role in supporting your gut health, aiding digestion, and boosting your immune system. Without them, honey is reduced to little more than plain sugar, stripped of its unique benefits, and harder for your body to process effectively. Take Marlene, for example, a 68-year-old who enjoyed hot lemon water with honey every morning for more than a decade. She believed it was a wholesome ritual, soothing for her throat and a gentle way to start the day. But behind the scenes, she was struggling with bloating, sluggish digestion, and an ongoing fatigue her doctors couldn't quite explain. It wasn't until a holistic nutritionist asked exactly how she prepared her drink that the truth emerged. She had been pouring honey straight into water that was still near boiling. When she made one simple adjustment, letting the water cool for several minutes before adding the honey, things began to change. Her digestion became calmer, her bloating eased, and her energy levels slowly returned. It wasn't magic. It was simply the chemistry of keeping honey's natural structure intact. The takeaway is simple. Let your tea or hot water sit for at least 5 to 10 minutes after boiling before stirring in honey. The temperature should be pleasantly warm, not scalding. If you can take a sip without burning your tongue, it's safe for your honey too. This small shift protects the delicate enzymes that give honey its healing qualities and prevents harmful compounds from forming, compounds that silently stress your liver over time. Sometimes, even the healthiest ingredients depend on timing, and when you treat honey with care, it rewards you with all the goodness it was meant to provide. Number 2. Alcoholic beverages. It may sound unusual at first. After all, who's mixing honey with alcohol on a regular basis? But look a little closer, and you'll see it happens more often than you might expect. From craft cocktails sweetened with honey syrup to traditional hot toddies made with whiskey and lemon, and even homemade herbal liqueurs or honey-based wines, this pairing is surprisingly common. While the combination may taste smooth, warming, or even medicinal, it's quietly tough on your liver. Here's why. Both alcohol and honey require processing by the liver. On their own, and in small amounts, your body can handle them without too much strain. But when consumed together, on their own, your body can handle alcohol and honey. But together, they create a double burden. Honey causes a quick spike in blood sugar, while alcohol triggers an intense detox effort from your liver. When these two arrive at the same time, especially in concentrated amounts or on a regular basis, they force your liver to work harder, longer, and more often than it was designed to, particularly as you age. This is especially concerning for older adults. As the years pass, liver function naturally slows down. And if there's even a mild underlying condition, such as fatty liver, slight insulin resistance, or simply slower digestion, the combination of sugar from honey and alcohol becomes far more taxing than most people realize. Take George, for instance, a 74-year-old who loved his evening ritual, a spoonful of honey stirred into warm brandy on chilly nights. It felt soothing, even sleep-inducing. But gradually, he began noticing troubling changes: persistent brain fog, rising blood pressure, and frequent stomach discomfort after dinner. Eventually, his doctor ordered tests, which revealed early signs of fatty liver. The advice was straightforward: cut the alcohol and stop combining it with sugar. George wasn't ready to give up honey altogether, so he made one change. He stopped pairing it with liquor. Within weeks, his digestion improved. His sleep became more restful. His blood work looked healthier. And most importantly, his energy returned. This isn't about eliminating every indulgence. It's about timing and giving your body the chance to recover. If you enjoy a drink, have it on its own and give your liver several hours before introducing anything sweet. If you use honey, keep it for a calming tea, a breakfast drizzle, or a morning health ritual, not something mixed with alcohol at the end of the day. Remember, as your metabolism slows, your liver becomes one of your most faithful allies. It filters, protects, and even regenerates. But like any hardworking organ, it has limits, especially when sugar and alcohol join forces. Number 3. Fermented or yeast-containing foods. Many people see honey as a natural digestive aid, and in many cases, it is. But when honey is combined with foods that are fermented or rich in yeast, when combined with certain foods, honey can shift from being a gentle ally to a hidden troublemaker inside your gut. Here's why. Honey is a natural source of sugar, while fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, kombucha, and sourdough bread are packed with live bacteria and yeasts. On their own, both can be incredibly beneficial. But when you mix them, especially in the warm environment of your digestive tract, you're essentially serving those microbes an all-you-can-eat sugar buffet. At first, that might sound harmless, maybe even healthy. But when this combination happens too often, the bacteria and yeast can begin to overgrow. The result? Bloating, excess gas, irregular bowel movements, and that lingering heaviness after eating. Take Leonard, a 72-year-old who prided himself on having a healthy gut routine. Every morning, without fail, he'd have a bowl of plain yogurt mixed with a generous spoon of honey and a sprinkle of granola. It felt wholesome and nourishing, yet for months, he couldn't figure out why his belly felt constantly swollen and uncomfortable, no matter how clean his diet seemed. Eventually, he discovered the culprit. The combination of probiotics from the yogurt and sugar from the honey was overstimulating his gut bacteria. Instead of improving digestion, it was forcing his system to work overtime, creating excess gas and fermenting food before his body could properly process it. When he stopped adding honey to his fermented foods and enjoyed it later in the day instead, his gut began to settle. Within just 2 weeks, the bloating eased, his energy improved, and his digestion finally felt balanced again. The problem isn't honey, and it isn't fermented foods. It's the timing of having them together. This is especially important on an empty stomach or for those with sensitive digestion. The reaction can simply be too much for your gut to handle at once. If you love yogurt, kefir, or kombucha, give them the space to do their job without being overstimulated by sugar. Have your honey a few hours later, once your gut has had time to process the probiotics. Your digestive system is a finely tuned balance of bacteria, enzymes, and movement. Even healthy foods can disrupt that harmony if they're combined in the wrong way. And if you've been dealing with unexplained bloating, discomfort, or irregularity, this might be one of those quiet culprits. Sometimes, all it takes is a small change in how you pair foods for your gut to finally breathe again. Number 4. Heavy meats or fatty. Honey and meat might sound like an unusual pairing, but it's far more common than many people think, especially in glazed dishes, barbecue sauces, or festive holiday roasts. On the surface, it may seem like a delicious, even gourmet combination. But when honey is mixed with dense fatty meats, particularly in large portions, it can create the perfect storm inside your body. Here's why it matters. Heavy meats, especially red meats or processed cuts, take a long time to digest. Your stomach, liver, and pancreas have to work extra hard to break down the fats and proteins. Now imagine adding honey to the mix, especially as part of a glaze or marinade. You're introducing fast-burning sugar into a slow-digesting system. This creates a mismatch for your metabolism. Your gut has to decide what to process first, and in the process, it can slow everything down. The result? Gas, bloating, sluggishness, and, over time, inflammation in the lining of your gut. But that's not all. Your liver also feels the impact. It's already busy processing the saturated fats and cholesterol from the meat. Add concentrated sugar into the equation, and suddenly it's juggling both lipids and glucose at the same time. For older adults, many of whom already have slower metabolism or early signs of fatty liver, this is extra strain the body simply doesn't need. Martha, age 75, learned this lesson firsthand. Every Easter, she made her famous honey-glazed ham. Her family adored it, but for years she noticed the same pattern, feeling sick for days afterward. She described it as bloated, exhausted, and mentally foggy. She blamed age, or maybe just eating too much in one sitting. But when she read about how combining sugar with heavy meats can overload digestion, she decided to experiment. That year, she swapped her honey glaze for fresh herbs and lemon zest. The change was remarkable. Instead of feeling drained, she felt light and steady. Her family still loved the flavor, and her body thanked her for the switch. This doesn't mean you have to give up every beloved recipe. It's about being mindful of how you pair foods. If you enjoy honey, try it with lighter dishes, in a warm tea, or drizzled over fresh fruit. But when it comes to rich, heavy cuts of meat, give your body the gift of simplicity. Let it focus on digesting one complex thing at a time. Your digestion, especially as you age, will work more efficiently and your energy will thank you for it. Number 5. Certain starches and refined. Life after 60 isn't about restriction or punishment. It's about creating peace within your body. When you start making choices that ease your system instead of overwhelming it, you'll notice something remarkable. Your body responds with more energy, clearer thinking, and greater day-to-day comfort. Small, mindful changes can feel like lifting a weight you didn't even realize you were carrying. If you're still with me and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 4 below so I know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. Turn on the bell so you never miss a video that helps you protect your health, one simple choice at a time. Your support is what allows us to keep creating content that both informs and inspires. Number 5. Radishes. Now this one might take you by surprise. Radishes, those crisp, peppery, and refreshing little roots, are actually wonderful on their own. They can support digestion and even help your liver function better. But here's the twist. When radishes are combined with honey, especially close together in time or within the same dish, they can create a reaction that many traditional health systems have cautioned against for centuries. In Ayurvedic tradition, mixing radish and honey is considered a toxic pairing. Why? Because their qualities are believed to conflict. Radish is pungent and heating. Honey is heavy and also heating in nature. When combined, The result can amplify internal heat, slow digestion, and irritate the gut lining, particularly in people with sensitive stomachs or existing inflammation. Now you might be thinking, but I've never mixed radish with honey. And perhaps you haven't directly. Still, you may have unknowingly paired them in certain dishes, like pickled salads, slaws, or fusion recipes where spicy root vegetables meet sweet dressings. Some modern chefs use honey-based sauces to balance bitter or sharp flavors, and that's exactly where the trouble can begin. Take Alan, age 70, for example. Every spring, he loved adding raw radish slices to his fresh salads. One day, his daughter made him a vinaigrette with honey, lemon, and olive oil. It was bright, tangy, and delicious. But that evening, he felt bloated and uncomfortable. The same thing happened the next week. It wasn't until his nutritionist pointed out the honey and radish clash that they made the connection. Alan switched to a savory dressing, keeping his radishes honey-free. The bloating disappeared. His digestion felt lighter, and he enjoyed his salads again without any discomfort. While Western science hasn't fully studied the honey-radish combination in detail, centuries of traditional wisdom and real-life experiences suggest it's a mix best avoided if you value smooth digestion and a calm gut. Sometimes, it's not about removing healthy foods, but about knowing which ones shouldn't be on the same plate. Many practitioners of traditional medicine and holistic nutrition agree that certain food combinations, while perfectly healthy on their own, don't always cooperate once they're inside your body. And as we age, this becomes even more important to consider. Our digestion, which may have once burned hot and strong, now benefits from gentler, steadier fuel. Pairing sharp, pungent vegetables with dense natural sugars can easily disrupt that balance, often leading to gas, acidity, or what feels like a general digestive slowdown. So, if you enjoy the crisp bite of raw radishes, savor them in moderation with something light, like a drizzle of olive oil, a sprinkle of salt, or a squeeze of lemon juice. Save your honey for other times, when your body can fully enjoy its sweetness without receiving mixed signals. Because the way your body processes food isn't just about counting nutrients, it's about maintaining harmony, and the more harmony you create on the inside, the more energy, clarity, and ease you experience on the outside. Number 6. Ghee and honey in equal proportions. This one comes directly from ancient wellness traditions, and it may be the most surprising combination on our list. Ghee, or clarified butter, is rich in healthy fats that can nourish joints, support skin health, and improve digestion. Honey, as you know, is full of antioxidants and has been cherished for centuries for everything from soothing sore throats to promoting wound healing. But here's the caution. When ghee and honey are taken together in equal amounts by weight, something changes. In Ayurveda, this specific pairing is considered toxic, not because of the individual ingredients, but because of the way the body reacts when they are combined in that exact ratio. The belief is that it creates what's called ama, a sticky form of metabolic waste that can clog your body's systems, particularly the liver and intestines. While modern science hasn't fully confirmed this traditional concept, there is a logical explanation. Heavy fats paired with fast-acting sugars, especially in equal proportions, can cause sharp spikes in both blood sugar and fat levels. That forces your liver to work double time, processing triglycerides and glucose all at once. Over time, this strain can contribute to inflammation, slow metabolism, and even fatty liver. Let me share an example. Ella Lehner, age 73, began adding a teaspoon of honey and a teaspoon of ghee to her morning oatmeal every single day. She'd read in a magazine that this combination could boost energy and even slow the signs of aging. At first, it seemed harmless. 2 natural, wholesome ingredients in a comforting breakfast. But within just a month, she started to notice that her digestion felt heavier, slower, almost as if her system was struggling to keep up. When her doctor ran routine blood work, the results showed a slight increase in her liver enzyme levels. It wasn't alarming, but it was enough to raise questions. She didn't want to give up either ingredient. Both had been part of her health routine for years, so she made one small but significant change. She continued using ghee in her cooking, but saved her honey for later in the day, adding it to her afternoon tea instead. The difference was remarkable. Her energy returned, her stomach felt light and settled, and by her next checkup, her doctor noted that her liver markers had improved. The takeaway here isn't that you should avoid ghee or honey entirely. They are both incredibly beneficial when used wisely. The key is to avoid consuming them in equal amounts at the same time. If you enjoy both, space them apart. Use one in the morning and the other later in the day, or make sure one is used in a much smaller quantity than the other. Your liver, especially after the age of 60, is already carrying the workload of decades of meals, habits, and changes. The less unnecessary stress you place on it, the better it will function. This ancient piece of advice, though centuries old, might be one of the simplest and most effective ways to prevent hidden inflammation and keep your digestive system working at its best. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 6 below so I know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you do so and turn on the bell so you never miss videos designed to protect and strengthen your health, one simple choice at a time. It's amazing when you think about it, isn't it? Honey, something trusted for generations, can quietly work against your health when mixed with the wrong foods. But here's the most important thing to remember: you are not powerless. Once you understand how these combinations affect your liver and gut, you can start making better choices. You can still enjoy the foods you love, keep your favorite routines, and at the same time protect the very systems that keep you strong and active. Today, we explored 6 specific things you should never mix with honey: boiling water, alcohol, fermented foods, heavy meats, radishes, and equal parts ghee. It's not because honey itself is bad, but because the way your body processes these mixtures changes with age. What once seemed harmless in your 30s or 40s can place unnecessary strain on your digestion and liver after 60. These insights aren't meant to create fear. They're about building awareness. They're about learning to listen to the subtle ways your body communicates and responding with a little more care. Sometimes it's the quiet signals, slower digestion, low energy, or discomfort, that tell us it's time for a change. So maybe the next time you reach for honey, you pause for just a moment. You let your tea cool before stirring it in. You decide to skip the honey-glazed roast. You give your digestion a chance to settle before adding in sweetness. These may feel like small adjustments, but they can lead to big results over time. That's how strength is rebuilt. That's how energy begins to return. That's how confidence in your body grows. The older you get, the more your body deserves gentleness instead of overload. And when you treat your gut and liver with the respect they've earned over decades of service, they repay you with clarity, vitality, and resilience. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'd love to hear from you. Share in the comments one thing you learned and how you plan to use it in your daily life. Your experiences and insights mean a lot to us, and reading your comments gives us motivation to keep creating. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it. Wishing you good health, happiness, and peace. And remember to subscribe so you don't miss more tips to help you live stronger, healthier, and longer.